Hey, y'all doing? It's Chris with Bama Law. Back for a short video, and we'll try to keep it under 20 minutes. It's probably not going to be because I'm a lawyer and we run our damn mouth. So chances are it'll be a lot longer. Uh, the topic of the video, if you hadn't read it, is Alec Baldwin thinks he can sue New Mexico for malicious prosecution and civil rights violations. He's a retard. Just putting it out there, just saying it. He just got the greatest gift you could ever get. A damn win on a slam dunk case because of retarded prosecutors who couldn't get their shit together with evidence, hid it, didn't provide it. That's the largest sanction a judge can give, which is dismissal of a case or prevention of the state from even using that evidence, which then killed the case, and it would have been dismissed regardless. So the judge did the right thing. I mean, I agree with it for a matter of law point of view, but it freaking pisses me off that he got away with it because the girl who provided the gun for him and did the checks, she's going to prison. Yeah, she just was negligent. Okay, look, there should never been live ammo on the set. It's a damn movie. You shouldn't be going out target practice and shouldn't be doing nothing. Zero with real ammo and a gun on a set because the guns are real. The only thing that makes them different for people that don't know, like in Die Hard, with the full automatic MP5s, and that's the one Bruce Willis carries throughout the movie. Those are live firearms. They have hot blanks in them, and in particular, the machine gun scene where he's running across the broken glass. They even purposely loaded the blanks even hotter. But what they do is they tap the barrel. Everything they do is undoable, but they tap the barrel and they'll put a restriction in it of some sort, which causes a gas restriction on the expansion of gases after you fire a blank. Because a blank normally on the semi-automatic, it just doesn't do nothing. A revolver is fine. You can use it's fine with what he was trying to use, especially a black powder revolver, not a problem. But you with a semi-auto firearm, you have to have some sort of a restrictor or booster of some sort that allows it to cycle, and so it cycles the action. So yeah, anyway, I'm going off on a tangent there, but everybody knows, everyone knows, if you're into firearms or used them any point in your life, you know your ass is the last line. It comes and starts and begins with you. If you pick it up, you better know the damn rule, which is if I don't check this and I pull the trigger, chances are there could be a bullet in it that could get discharged and go wherever in the hell it damn well wants to, because once you shoot it, you can't take it back. Freaking dummy did it. You don't. Number two, you don't ever point a gun and say, I don't give a shit if it's a movie. I don't care if you want me to point it at the camera. I'll point it at the camera when you're not behind it. That's how that should have worked. You could do it from angles. I can still point one. Looks like I'm pointing it at the camera. I'm actually not. I'm actually at an angle. So they do that a lot of times so that they can see the rounds in a revolver. They'll put them with dummy rounds, meaning no powder, not even a primer in it, which is what ignites everything on the back. So they'll just put a dummy bullet, but it looks like there's actual bullets in it to the camera when you're seeing it, but there's nothing. It's dead. One of these retards went out there shooting. That's the only thing I can come up with. Or they hated him so much, they were willing to risk the death of a human being to get him. And unfortunately, it got the armor, and I'm not sure if anyone else has been charged, but I know she got convicted. So, and look, man, she's liable, at least from a negligence point of view. If you had like a criminal negligence, she's at least that. She's at least liable for that. Is she liable for manslaughter? I don't think so under statute, or at least not New Mexico statute. In Alabama, I look. I'm not. Let me start the video off. I am a licensed attorney in the state of Alabama. Nowhere else. Not giving any advice. Don't take it as advice. Get you a damn lawyer. Open your pocketbook and go pay the damn grape fee you'll need to the local lawyer you hire, because you're going to need a new home mortgage. So I'm not giving advice on New Mexico law, but traditionally, I mean, from a common law point of view, I don't know why she'd be liable other than for actual negligence. And then at common law for wrongful death. I mean, you could argue that, you know, her and him and anyone else who had a responsibility to it was liable. But that doesn't matter. We're looking at this dipshit's case. All right. Um, let's see if it's streaming right. Yeah, it looks like it's doing good. All right, yeah, we're already 6 minutes in. Let's get past page one. Damn. All right. Oh, hey, I like my shirt. I like it. It's I don't know if you can. Damn, if I could sit up, that'd be great. Eh, it's the Mercury Phoenix Trust shirt. Um, you can get it online. I don't think they have any more yellow ones left, but you can get it online. Just do a search for Mercury Phoenix Trust. It's a good trust. It's a good organization for AIDS research. Anyway, back to this. We have a pleading. Now, I need to pull up something. I just thought of this. I need to pull up. Give me 1 second. 42. Let me pull up this. Okay. You're going to see at the beginning where I've highlighted a question mark and then I've highlighted and then put a red ring or block around it. The complaint. What are they suing for? That's the first thing you look at a complaint. And it's not always there in that caption area. Sometimes it'll be in the actual body of it. I mean, mine would just have a case number and then that's it. Then say jury trial demand. I think Tennessee, I've practiced there briefly, Pro Hack, and I think they require it in the caption. Let me see if I can get this here. This is the caption area. They like it to be right about in here, where this is. Alabama don't require it. It just has to be pled and has to be in the document. It's usually the last set of words you put in a complaint before your name. It'll say jury trial demanded. All right. They've got the case number. We got that. Let me get a little zoomed in here. There we go. That's a little bit much. There we go. All right. See the question mark. They are suing for the complaint. This is where I just don't get it. This guy's got. I don't know who Quinn Emanuel, Urquhart, and Sullivan. I don't know. I don't know who they are. I'm guessing they're out of New York or some dumb shit like that. Because, damn it, they should know better than this. This is just. Well, this is stupid. This is law clerk. I didn't graduate from law school. I didn't pass the bar 5 times. Type of stuff. In fact, I think even somebody that took the bar that many times would have known better because they've taken it 5 freaking times. So they still know better. They just can't pass the exam because of the bullshit logic. It has nothing to do with being able to practice law. This is what somebody would do who's not ever done it. I don't get it. Just anyway, let's try to go through it. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. It's like 80 damn pages, and we don't need to. I've got the highlighted areas already done. So we have a violation. They're suing. I still can't stop from laughing. They're suing in their complaint for a violation of rights under 42 USC 1983. And you might be wondering, what is that? Well, their second one is conspiracy to cause a violation of rights under 42 USC 1983. And the rest we'll get to. Those are more common law. These are very particular and unique to one area of law, the United States District Court. Period. That's it. You don't go to state court and start invoking federal laws. You have to have what's called subject matter jurisdiction for a court. You got to have personal jurisdiction, or at least in rem jurisdiction, which means you got to have jurisdiction over the person or their property. That's for federal court. For most states are the same. I don't know any states that don't allow you to go after property as a way of getting jurisdiction, except for criminal. The criminal, they want the body. This is federal. You have to have subject matter jurisdiction. So the federal court would be fine with this. You'd have to have this, right? Subject matter jurisdiction, federal law. We have federal law covered. If it's not, you have other sets of things that you have to fall under. You have to have a diversity of citizenship. person A has to be from a different state than person B. That's just the way it works. You can't sue the state. That's an old case from the late 1700s, which is why we have an 11th Amendment. I Damn, is it Chisholm v. Georgia? I can't remember. Go up and look it up. Go back and look it up on your own time. It's If you feel like it. It's an interesting read. Guy found out that, hey, I can sue the state. I can't do nothing about it. It's not in the Constitution. He did, and it worked. And they made a real quick change the next legislative session. So anyway, you got to have diversity. You got to have two different places. People be from two different states. They can't be from the same state. Can't go to federal court unless you have subject matter jurisdiction for a federal law. Okay, that's fine. If you have somebody polluting a river, let's just say in Georgia, all right, and you live in Georgia and you want to sue because your water's polluted, you could still, because it's a federal law, provided the law allows for it, you could sue them in U.S. court, district court, pursuant to that. You have to have, we'll go back to this. Sorry, we have to go back to diversity. You got to have, in a normal civil suit, you got to have diversity. You got to have two different states involved, another person in A, one state, person B, like Alabama and Georgia. You got to have at least a value controversy. I can't remember if it's 70 or 75K. It's got to be one of the two. If it's more than $25, you automatically have a right to a jury trial. That's in the Constitution. It was a lot more back then than it is now. Let's see. Subject matter jurisdiction. I have to go through this in my head. You got to have diversity. So the court's got to at least be able to take the case. That's the subject matter. They got to have subject matter over it. You got to have diversity, unless the federal statute gives them the bypass. Okay, so we'll just forget that for now. We'll just go with regular civil court. All right, civil case in federal court. You got to have diversity. You got to have subject matter jurisdiction. So that has to be, and it can be state. It could be a state law. For instance, I don't know, driving through from Alabama to Oklahoma, and I get to Oklahoma and going to California, but somebody hits me in the rear of my awesome Ford Pinto and it blows up. Okay, who do I sue and where? Shit, I don't know. Well, normally it's where the tort occurred, where you got hit. Where do you sue Ford? Well, you can sue Ford in Michigan, but if you're going to sue the other guy in Oklahoma, why not just sue them all in Oklahoma? So that's where the subject matter jurisdiction and all that comes from. You get diversity. So you've got Ford, which is in Michigan. You got the guy that hit me. Let's just say he's from Oklahoma and I'm from Alabama. Covered. More than 70,000's at stake. But I'm suing for, let's say I died on impact. My family sues for wrongful death. That's a state tort that you can sue in federal court for. Okay, so they have federal jurisdiction as far as to hear that, but you have to fulfill those other issues. You've got to have diversity. You've got to have the mountain controversy. There has to be these certain guidelines. Okay. The other side of that is this bypasses it for the most part. When the federal courts get from the Congress, or maybe even a constitutional amendment, what's called Article 3 jurisdiction. Article 3 is the courts. 2 is the president. Two is the presidency. 1 is the Congress. I think I have it right. Article 3 is the courts, though. So when the Congress gives them Article 3 jurisdiction, they say, here you go. We want people to be able to go to federal court. We want people to be able to sue for this. They will pass a law such as somebody violated my civil rights. Bang, right here. 42 USC 1983, meaning somebody operating under the color of law in that state, for a state government, city government, county, whatever, violated your civil rights under the, what could be that's a whole nother argument. It could be not just constitutional rights, it could be anything under the Civil Rights Act. I mean, it could be a lot of things. Typically it's stuff under the constitutional 14th Amendment pursuant to the 14th Amendment, but it's the constitutional rights in the Bill of Rights. So they said, well, I'll tell you what, we need to have a way for people to be able to sue for civil rights violations. We'll just pass a federal law, yet another one, that says, hey, you can bring this to court in federal court, even if, remember diversity, you don't need it. If I get the hell beat out of me by a cop, literally, I'm just walking down the street and the guy comes and just pops me inside the head and goes, God damn it, I hate you. Bam, bam, it just beats the hell out of me. Beats me to a pulp. Sucks. Man, that really sucks because you ain't getting nothing in state court. You'll get them, you'll nail them, obviously for criminal acts. But as far as civil rights violation, you can't. You can sue them individually. They're not operating within the confines of their employment. They're outside of it. But the state, you're never going to get them. They're not going to consent. They have immunity. Immunity. Okay, qualified immunity. If they did something in the execution of their duties that wasn't so egregious, maybe they just came to your house and said, hey, somebody called us and said that somebody murdered someone here. You're like, well, who? Yeah, well, they say, your wife, Jane Johnson. Yeah, is that her? Yes, that's my wife. Are you Claude Johnson? Yes, I'm Claude. Well, we're coming in and make sure she ain't dead. You could say, no, no, you're not. I'm here telling you, no one's dead. Let's say they do it anyway. Let's say they do it 10 times within 3 months because somebody keeps doing it. I could probably, even as a lawyer, give them at least one time, two, where they can come in under exigency and search to make sure no one's really dead. Okay. But after number two, I get a third. I'm going to go, I think this is going to be bullshit. That's what the cops should think. They should go to the door. Hello. Oh, yeah. Are y'all doing okay? Oh, yeah, we're great. And they both show up. You go home. That doesn't always happen. Sometimes the cops still come in. That would be a violation of your civil rights. That would be a violation of unreasonable searches and seizures and a whole host of other issues. So anyway, we're back to this. You can get into court two different ways. You can either get in under the traditional route, which is diversity, subject matter jurisdiction, etc., or you can do it with this, which is still subject matter jurisdiction, but it is Article 3, meaning Congress has given it as a carve out to the court, said, here, this is what we want you to allow. You have to take it, even if I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, and an Atlanta cop does it, and I live there. Doesn't matter. I can still sue in Atlanta in federal district court. Doesn't matter. Don't need the diversity. I've got Article 3 jurisdiction. Boom. We're done. Okay. That is a very short civil procedures, federal civil procedure type class, and it's a lot to go. Trust me, your head's probably sitting there going, I don't get it. Neither do law students in their first few weeks. So, and I'm not even getting into the actual complete details of it. I don't want to lose you. But point being is, this is a, excuse me, this is a violation of rights under United States Code. Article 3 jurisdiction, which gives you a right to sue in where? Where? That's right, federal court, Chris. Oh, yeah, it does. That's right, federal court. Where are we in this case, though? You don't know anybody? Oh, look, it's sitting in New Mexico. It's right there. This dumbass don't know what he's doing. Oh, surprised. Not really. Lawyers are dumb. We can be, especially when we have other people draft shit for us that we don't read. Happens all the time. State of New Mexico, County of Santa Fe, First Judicial District. What a moron. I don't know why this is even on there, because they don't need it, because they actually have one way to get back in, which, as shitty as this is written, I probably wouldn't dismiss it. I'd probably go ahead and allow it to go through, and I would just dismiss number 1 and 2. We'll get to that. They do come in a back door through a state civil rights law. We'll just go with that. But this is not looking good, folks. This doesn't look good. This looks like crap. This makes you look like a retard. This isn't good. I'm telling you, I've seen law students with better arguments than this. This is not good. Okay. And the whole thing reads like it's a salacious novel or something. I mean, it's just, oh my God, the drama. It's just so stupid. But let's go through. See, we can't get through this. Well, shit. Why did that pop up? One more thing. Sorry, I pulled this up and then didn't read it. 42 USC, United States Code, 1983 is a civil rights law allows individuals to sue state and local officials. Remember, they have immunity. Under that 11th Amendment, the states have immunity. They can determine whether or not you can come to court and sue them or their employees. Kind of sucks. I really wish they'd revisit that amendment. It's needed, but the way I think Chisholm did it was basically, and I don't even remember the facts of the case, was basically, hey, you didn't do something I wanted you to do, and I'm going to sue you in federal court. It's a lot different than somebody doing something to you like search and seizure violations, but they've always hid behind it until this 42 USC 1983 came along. They just hid behind immunity. That's it, qualified immunity. You ever want to know why you can't go get a judge that does something horrific? Qualified immunity. That's it. Qualified immunity. That's it. Full stop. It allows people to sue state and local officials violating their constitutional or federal rights. What it allows. Individuals can sue state or local officials if they believe their rights, privileges, or immunities have been violated. Now, I know everybody they want to bum rush all the way to the Bill of Rights and you know, any other federal law that's been passed that's given us another privilege, so to speak. There's a lot of others, though, that usually don't ever get talked about. They don't want to talk about them. It's called the Privileges and Immunities Clause. It's also in the 14th Amendment. And it's the one where, if you go back and read any of I think it's Heller v. DC and McDonald v. Chicago, Justice Thomas repetitively has done this in at least 2 or 3 of the last, I don't know, 6 or 7 gun cases in front of the court, that there aren't, you can't just say that we only are limited to the rights enumerated in the Constitution, because there's more. There's privileges and immunities that are, for instance, you're not entitled to get a driver's license. You got to take a test. But once you get it, and I live in Georgia, I can't be told by Illinois I can't come to their state. I have a right to marriage. If I get married, this is why the gay marriage thing was so stupid. It didn't need to be, it didn't need it. So what if Alabama banned it? I don't care. If you went to New York and got hitched, okay, you're now married. You come back to Alabama, Privileges and Immunities Clause makes that a valid marriage. They have to say yes. Yeah, it's a whole nother issue of whether or not, well, they're abridging my right if you're going to allow that. No, you can just go to New York and get married, come back. I mean, it's just, that's the way it is. That's the way the abortion law is now. Look, it's a state's right. However, there are some caveats. One of them is that, which Thomas's argument was always about, it had to do with gun possession or firearm ownership, in that there were other, even if you wanted to hamstring them and say that the Second Amendment didn't mean what it meant, there's a lot of other privileges and immunities that apply that we aren't talking about, and we could. So just keep that in mind for what that's worth. When was it enacted? You're not. Don't say 1983, because it didn't happen in 83. I promise. That's just the number. President Grant signed the KKK Act. That's a name. That's a name for you right there. The Ku Klux Klan Act on April 20th, 1871. I think it's a year. I think it was. I think in 72 was the next election. I think, or maybe it was 76. Yeah. Anyway, I'm thinking of the one with Garfield, when he got shot and then died from bacterial infection because his doctor kept freaking shitting on his own hands and never washing them and digging into his wounds. And it's a horrible, horrible thing what happened to him. The guy languished for months and died. But uh, and also he got into office because of a deal that was struck to where Louisiana, even though a Democrat won, they said, yeah, they didn't. I know they says it, but we're going to send the other electors, the Republican ones. Well, I thought they said they can't do that, but they did, and they counted them, and Garfield won. The reason was they had made a backroom deal to end Reconstruction. So they made good on their word. So they ended Reconstruction. They agreed. They sent the alternate slate of electors. Bada bing, bada boom. There you go. Anyway, so that goes back that far. We're looking back to 1871, man. It's a long freaking time ago. Uh, which included Section 1, now known as 42 USC 1983. All right. What did it cover, or what does it cover? All right. Freedom of speech, search and seizure, excessive force, cruel and unusual punishment, which, God, did we take that out of context now? It's absurd. It's like if they don't do anything other than not, even if they don't execute a guy and they put him in life in prison, they still say it's cruel and unusual. Oh, well, he's being housed with real bad people. Well, yeah, he killed 2 dudes. Yeah, that's where we put bad people, is with other bad people because they're in prison. I'm on my soapbox. I'm gonna get off. I'm gonna get off. All right, due process violations. Who can be sued under this? School district employees, and this is one of the cases. School district employees can be sued in personal capacity, even if the school district itself is not liable. You can plug in whatever you want to in that. Police officers, doesn't matter, whatever. Um, Guards, etc. All of them can. So that is the. I hope, because I hate doing these because I don't have a way to go back and look over notes or anything because I don't really keep them. To make sure I've covered what I want to cover. And look, we're almost at 30 minutes already, so I'm not going to sit here much longer. I'm going to have to cut this one and got another video for later. But I wanted you to get your idea, your mind wrapped around the idea of what the hell it even is 1983. Now you know. It goes back to right after the war between the states. It's old. It's an old law. It's still in effect. It's still used. Okay. Now, let's go back to this dipshit and what he did or is attempting to do. And he just did this week, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. He is sued in state court for. Wait a minute. What the hell is this? 42 USC 1983. That's a federal law. Federal law doesn't say that it gives you the right to sue the state in its state court. It says you have a right to sue the state or its agent, whatever the cause may be, in a federal court. But Chris, I don't understand. Well, I'm glad you asked that because this is state of New Mexico, county of Santa Fe. Number one problem, those two are going to have to go bye-bye. That's just going to have to happen. I don't know if they have an immunity. We'll find out together. If New Mexico has immunity for the, I know they had an amendment because I've already got it pulled up and I'm not going to go over it because I don't want anybody to be jumping ahead. But they did amend it, I believe, in 2021. But it's not that big a deal. But they did an amendment recently, so I don't know. Still, I haven't looked through it all, but I don't know if it covers these. This is what I'm trying to get at. I don't know. My guess is they would have, unless it's under the act, immunity from any of this, for any of it in a state court. So immediately the state court could go, well, if they have a sovereign immunity or qualified immunity, well, these two don't even apply. Number 1 and 2 don't even apply. Don't even apply. That's complete stupidity. Gone. Dismissed counts 1 and 2. Okay. Go to number 3, malicious abusive process. Some call it malicious prosecution. Some places have an actual abusive process. They'll have, or some places have 2, abusive process and malicious prosecution, which usually is, the latter is usually geared at an individual, someone who goes around maybe, I don't know, filing lawsuits and stuff like that, just frivolous shit. That's usually what it's going after. Anyway, they're going after malicious prosecution. This is one we'll have to go through with the evidence, rules of evidence, because I'm not even going to get into it. Just know that this intentional spoliation, not spoilation, no, spoliation of evidence. It's a little weird because usually spoliation means that you have done something to screw up the evidence, whether it's destroyed it, accidentally lost it, caused it to be disappeared, whatever. We'll get into it, what spoliation is. We'll go through that. But that's not necessarily a common law tort. So I'm hoping that they've relied on state law for that. I guarantee you, man, I guarantee you, freaking have immunity except for the civil rights argument. Under New Mexico law, there is a civil rights statute that I will try to go to. If not this one, we'll get in the next one. There is a civil rights statute that kind of mimics this one in and of itself, which would get you in the door into state court for violation of rights under 42 USC 1983 because they're kind of a mirror. And I don't know about the conspiracy, but that's a potential too, I guess. But you can still get in the door on those. But these two, as they stand, they're gone. They're going to get booted. They don't have jurisdiction. They do have it if we go down here. Hell, we go down there. See where I made that? Yeah. They do have it under this violation of New Mexico Civil Rights Act. That gets you in the door. So I don't think the suit's going to die. I think if I was a judge, I'd still allow it to go. I would dismiss counts 1 and 2 and let them and just say, well, I'm just going to take the complaint as if it were filed, if 1 and 2 were filed under 6. You could do it that way. You could boot it and say, hey, refile it. Sorry, man, this is incorrect. Because malicious abuse of process, they've got immunity. It's so freaking hard. They got immunity. Otherwise, if they didn't have it, think about it. As bad as people can be, cops, lawyers, all of them, what the hell would happen if we allowed people to start suing over that? That means anytime anybody got put in jail for anything, they'd immediately run to the courthouse and start filing suits. Oh, well, this is malicious. This is malicious. This is abuse. Nobody would ever get in trouble. No one would ever get in any trouble and be held accountable. Never. Because there's no immunity. But there is. But this is what they're alleging. This is usually against a private person, by the way. Malicious abuse of process. That's a little bit bizarre. They're alleging it. Intentional spoliation, a little different. Defamation. Again, immunity. They're not going to win. I'd be shocked. No, I wouldn't be shocked anymore. No, I wouldn't be more surprised if I woke up tomorrow morning my head's under the carpet, to be honest. But defamation, maybe defamation per se. Like if I were to say, I don't know. God, I don't even want to say it and get in trouble. Johnny Depp stole aliens from the United States government. Well, clearly that's just stupid. I mean, I guess who knows? Maybe there are aliens. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure he didn't steal them. Okay, so we ain't got to worry about that. So if I allege that in some sort of paper or internet, etc., whatever, and that's not even a good one. No, that it has to be a criminal act. If I said he did something with those aliens, I hate this with YouTube. I can't even get into what you have an imagination, you know where I'm going with it. If I said he did that with dead aliens, okay, and it's an illegal act, whether it's an alien, a kid, a woman, doesn't matter. If I say, like, for instance, I got a good example, and they won't care because they hate Donald Trump. So it's easy. Uh, ABC just got nailed by freaking this right here, defamation. George Snuffleupagus, whatever the fuck his name is, that moron, who actually goes on the air and says Donald Trump was convicted of rape. No, actually he wasn't. Not at all, actually. He was not. Not what happened. But he said it more than once. He got nailed. ABC got nailed. They nailed him for it. That was defamation. That's defamation per se. That's what I'm trying to get to. Sorry. ADD. Freaking hard to do when you're going by yourself with no interaction from anybody in a chat or anything. It gets hard to follow along sometimes and keep up with your own self. The defamation, like I'm pointing to the screen and nobody can freaking see it. I mean, this is how stupid I am. I mean, I'm not used to this. I can point here. That doesn't do any good. Here, number 6, or 5, excuse me. Defamation. If it's per se, that might get, you're still not going to get past immunity. But if you were to, defamation per se would probably be the easier to get to. It's a hell of a lot easier to prove. Even for oh God. Here we are. My mind's running rabbit trails because I'm already thinking there's a New York case. I think it's in the 60s. I think it was Charlotte McLean, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, it was a New York case where she or someone sued for defamation, and it set the standard for what defamation suits are done under. And if you're a person in the media, then the only way to prove it is maliciousness. It has to be malicious. Defamation per se covers that in spades because it's per se defamation. You have now said I've committed a felony, a horrific act or whatever, and I've done nothing. Donald Trump hadn't been convicted of it, and they claimed he did it. That's how they got hosed. Okay. So that's what we've been doing is 30 damn minutes. I've done giving a damn law school tutorial here, and I didn't even get past page 1. I'm going to try to get past page 1, and then we're going to cut it off, and I'll come back because we're at 36 minutes. I'm not going to let it go any farther. All right. So they do allege a violation of New Mexico's Civil Rights Act. So, like I said, number 1 and 2 is not going to get in as written. It could be taken, depending on their laws there. Courts have pretty good power to kind of like, yeah, this doesn't work, but I'm gonna deem it accepted as if you wrote it for number 6. That's the court. All right. So anyway, defamation. Don't think he's gonna get it. Just don't. I don't think he'll get anything here either. I'm just being honest. The guy's he is so lucky he's not in prison. It's stupid. Like he has no. This is the arrogance of a narcissist. Yeah, wait till we read it together. I'm telling you, you're going to be shocked. This is what narcissists do, though. They have this mindset of they are so much better than you or me. They are wonderful. How dare you ever bring ill repute upon them? Guess what, buddy? You picked the damn gun up. You didn't check it. That's it. Because a inert, dead round that, even though it has a real projectile in the casing, the back has a hole in it. There's no primer. It tells you it's fake, that it's dead. All you had to do is pop open the cylinder. That's it. He would have known. He'd have gone, hey, wait a minute. Why does this not have a hole? He'd have pulled it out. It'd have been a whole freaking kit. He would have known. He would have said, what the hell is this? Somebody trying to. He didn't do it. That's his duty. So I don't think he's going to win under any of these. I could be wrong. I don't know. It's New Mexico. It's a, fruitcake central, right adjacent to California. So I don't know. They might. But these first 2, it's never going to happen. Don't ever do this. Y'all don't do it. Don't do it. Don't have a lawyer do it. Don't do it. Plead the right damn thing the first time. It's okay if you make a mistake. Not like this, but they do happen. And if it happens, you immediately fix it with an amended complaint and then reserve them. Hopefully, they've already been served. You don't have to go through the process of service. You just amend it and fix it. That's how you fix it. You amend it. I don't think they're going to. I'm just being honest. He's paying these guys probably $700 an hour, and they just don't give a shit. That's it. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Mr. Quinn, Emmanuel, Urquhart, and Sullivan, and LeBlanc. Hey, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. You might want to fix your shit, though, guys. Just putting that out there. All right. So I think that gets us. I hate stopping like this. It really irritates me. But it's getting late. We'll go through page 1 and then we'll quit. Okay. I know I keep saying it, but we will. All right. Dumbass Baldwin brings this action for deprivation of rights afforded by the Constitution and laws of the United States. Oh my God. Jesus, we know that, retard. And it would be afforded by the Constitution and the Constitution of New Mexico. I don't know why they didn't write it that way. I would just delete it. I wouldn't even say it. I would just say brings this action for malicious abusive process or malicious prosecution, whichever one they have a law for. I bet you money they didn't get that right. It wouldn't surprise me if that's not a thing. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't go through this and it doesn't say malicious prosecution. That's a little different from malicious abusive process. But intentional spoliation of evidence, defamation, violation of New Mexico Civil Rights Act against Carrie T. Morrissey, Mary Carmike Altvies, nice little German name, Andrea Reeb, Jennifer Paget Macias. What's with the freaking full names? I've never used. It's like they're all the what are they? Serial killers? They always use their damn middle name, and I don't understand that. Oh, Andrea Reeb, they didn't use the middle name, so oh well. Anyway, um, Jennifer Macias, first judicial district attorney's office. That says the body as a whole. Um, Alexandria Hancock, and these are all going to be the board of commissioners. Yeah, that's what I figured. He's also suing the board, the commissioner, the county itself. You have to sue the body. That's always required. You don't just sue the cops. You can, um, but usually you would sue the you would sue whatever entity hired them. Not necessarily the state government, but you would sue the city government, the county government, or whatever who hired them. You would the state if it was like a state trooper, something like that. Right, blah 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 blah. Let's go downhill. Introduction. The highest duty of oh god, I did read this. This is funny. The highest duty of all who investigate, charge. This is a great narrative. Don't do this, guy. Chat. Don't do this. Don't do it. Don't write a freaking novel narrative. Just write a damn lawsuit. This looks. I guess because their client's a actor, they think they need to be writers. I don't know. Anyway, the highest duty of all who investigate, charge, and prosecute criminal cases in the state of New Mexico is to fairly and impartially apply the state's awesome powers. Why is that even in there? Why don't they just say the criminal prosecutions, by this state are to be guided by the search for truth and justice and not those that pursue personal or political gain, nor to harass the innocent. Okay, fine. That's a little bit better. I still wouldn't have used it. I could have deleted all that. Done. For the better part of the last 3 years, however, we're going to now tell you about our client's horrible case, and we're going to plead it into the public conscience in our pleading. Nobody gives a shit. I'm telling you, lawyers and judges both are just going, dude, I don't have time for this. I have a docket. I have a docket. This sucks. Defendants repudiated these obligations, blinded. Oh, they were blinded by their desire to convict Alec Baldwin. Oh, for the wrong reasons. And at any cost for the October 2021 accidental shooting of Elena Hutchins. No, asshole. That was an intentional shooting because you intentionally pulled the damn trigger. Period. That's how that happens. You pulled the trigger and had a real round in it. Even if it had been a blank, because this has happened too. There was one in the early 80s. I can remember as a kid, this guy on television show, forgive me, I don't remember it, but he thought on set it would be cool to pretend to kill himself. Right, exactly. I don't see how that would be cool. But he thought it would be. Took a prop gun, real gun, with a blank, put it to his head to scare a girl. He pulled the trigger. Well, guess what? There's enough back pressure and gas in that blank cartridge that it killed him with no bullet. Still killed him. So these are no joke. If you ever watch reenactors for whether it's World War II, Civil War, whatever, not only do they not get close to one another when they fire, and those are just black powder, okay, or blanks too that are real low potency. They do it at angles. So if you ever, even in movies, if you ever watch it, man, you shoot a rifle, man, you're shooting level with a human, right? But if you watch, their rifles will be like canted slightly up. That's just in case, even though they're 50 yards away, the powder, unburnt powder, doesn't pepper them. They don't get burnt. It goes over their head. And that's just to be absolutely for sure they're not going to hurt somebody. They're absolutely being, over the top. He didn't even do a tenth of that. He just took a gun, pulled the trigger, and pointed at somebody and pulled the trigger. And now he's going to sit here and tell us about this freaking awesome, how horrible awesome his client is. Well, how horrible, awesome his client is, and how horrible the state is and what they've done to him. It's just horrific. Okay. Blinded by their desire to convict him for the wrong reasons, not for the fact that, oh, gee, I don't know, he killed a woman and shot a dude. Thankfully, that guy lived. At any cost, well, shit, at any cost, I cannot do this tonight. For the October 20 accidental shooting, defendants' misconduct in their pursuit of Baldwin and the trial judge's condemnation of them. No, 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 no. She condemned what they did as a result. They didn't do what they should have done, which was called spoliation of evidence. They did not secure the chain of custody, and they did not provide the evidence that they were supposed to provide when they were to provide it. And by that time, the ship had sailed. They effed up. They made sure not to on the second one. That's how they got a conviction. And these do not, I don't think if it had been anyone else, I don't think the judge would have given it to him. Even though I agree with her mentality, her reasoning, I don't think they would have gave it. I really don't. If it had been, I don't know, some random black dude, oh no, they'd have just freaking, oh no, she'd have said, well, we're just not going to let you use, I don't know, they would have gave some sort of punishment. But they wouldn't, no, they would have never dismissed the charge. They might have restricted the use of certain evidence. They might have put, hell, they might have even sanctioned the lawyers. Who knows? They could have done a lot of things. The biggest one is the restriction of being or barring of the use of any evidence, and on top of that, dumping the case. That is the ultimate. That is for very bad issues, and I just don't think this is one of them. But like I said, I agree with the logic of the judge. It's stuff that can't be screwed up. Okay, it can't be done. But if it was a random black dude, I assure you, his ass would be in prison right now. Defendants' misconduct in their pursuit of Baldwin, misconduct in pursuit. Oh my God. You see this? You see how they're writing it? This just sucks. This sucks. And the trial judge's condemnation has already drawn worldwide attention. Nobody cares. Nobody involved in this case is going to give two shits or a jury about what the world attention was. But this action is necessary to vindicate his rights and deter the defendants from attempting to do this to anyone else. That's not a well-written sentence, by the way. Oh my God. This just sucks. Chat, this sucks. This sucks. This really sucks. This is not what you want to do, guys. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Don't do it. If you go to law school, don't do this shit. Just please don't. From the moment defendants and their agents set foot on the scene of the incident, I mean, it reads like it's some high thriller novel or something. This is not how lawsuits usually read. We're already asleep by page 2. It should have been apparent that Baldwin had no culpability. Should have been apparent. He pulled the trigger. How is minutes before, a member of the crew had handed him, like the cops knew, because they just show up to all scenes automatically and go, oh, I already know everything. I know who did it. We're good. Let's get some aid to this dead person. And I already know who did it. We're going to go solve the murder. No, they're usually like Inspector Clouseau. A lot of cops are. I'm just being honest. They're just like lawyers or anybody else. You have good ones, you have bad ones. And unfortunately, a lot of the ones that get up to the top are just not good. But minutes before, a member of the crew had handed him a prop handgun. It wasn't a prop handgun. It's not a prop. It is a real gun shooting real damn bullets. Clearly, it killed someone. Oh my God. They're stupid. Prop handgun. No, it's not. But they still went ahead. If it had been a real prop gun, which means it is a fake and it can't use anything other than a blank, they do exist. Sometimes they're just dummies, like just made of aluminum, but they look like they're real. That's the way a lot of movies get around a lot of this crap, especially in England. They're not even real guns. They just kind of look it, but they're not. You pick it up, it's just a piece of metal. That's all it is. They loudly called out "cold gun" to assure Baldwin and everyone else present that it had been inspected and contained only non-explosive dummy rounds. That's not a thing either. That's not a thing. No, they're explosive. God. Ugh. Again, chat, we've talked about it. All right. Even blanks are explosive. They're still explosive. So you've got a lawyer who's writing this who doesn't know what the hell he's talking about, defending a guy who doesn't know what he's doing. This is a disaster. This Dude, this is getting out on summary judgment. This is never going to trial. I will be shocked. If it does, it's because it's Alec Baldwin. That's it. If it was some random black dude, nah, he'd be in prison. There would be no lawsuit. That's it. That's it. Unbeknownst to Baldwin, the prop had been loaded with live rounds. Oh, there's more than one? I thought you said there was only one. That's what I heard when this happened. It was just the one that looked similar to dummy rounds. The prop fired a live round and killed Hutchins. The prop. That's their argument. The prop fired the bullet. I hate to tell y'all this, and I know some of you can probably watch and they're not politically of a certain persuasion or whatever, or you've probably never touched a gun, whatever. It didn't matter. You can, dude, you can take any gun and set it on the counter loaded with a round in the chamber. And until about, I don't know, 800 years from now, or long enough time for salt to get into the metal and just completely erode the metal and cause the sear to jump and the hammer to go down or the striker to go forward, the gun's never going off. It doesn't just go off. It's not magic. It's not David Copperfield or hoodoo. It's called a finger on the trigger, pulling it. This isn't how this happens. It does. Anybody ever says, "Oh, it was accidental discharge"? No, 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 no. Accidental discharge. There are some that do happen where there's a problem with the firearm itself, a bad design. There's been a couple with SIG where law enforcement officers had loaded it, put it on the table, it fell off the table. You should be able to drop a gun off of a building. It dropped, hit, and nothing happened. Unfortunately, they didn't have a drop safe function. Some reason I don't know. I don't know the details. I just know that there's been some where the gun fell off the table and it shot the cop. It's not funny. I don't think anybody's died as a result. I think they've been lucky, but that can happen. But most guns have a drop safe. None of these are issues that they're even bringing up. People are freaking stupid. They're saying it's a cold gun, that it's a prop gun. Neither are true. They're always hot. They're always a real gun. You assume it regardless. And your guy freaking pulled the trigger. I don't know what else they expect for people to come to a conclusion of. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know. And I'm still freaking 30 minutes over what I said I'd do. See? I knew I'd do it. Damn it. All right, I'm going to get through this and I'm done. We're going to come back and do another part because I ain't doing 5 hours on this. No way. I just want to make sure everybody understands because, a lot of the times people go through this stuff and they'll just make comments. They'll say, oh, it's a 1983 claim. Oh, it's a malicious prosecution claim. They don't tell you why it works or why it doesn't, or if it's even doable. So I at least wanted to give people an idea of, what the hell, what is it? And to do that, I kind of also need to give you a background. Defendant sought at every turn to scapegoat Baldwin for the acts and omissions of others. Others. Dude, oh my God. Regardless of the evidence or the law. This included defendant Andrea Reeb, a special prosecutor, used the prosecution of Baldwin to advance her simultaneous run for the New Mexico legislature. Chat, let's don't do that. Guys, I know there's no one in the chat, but I'm calling you chat. Chat, don't do that. If you're going to run for something like don't do two jobs at once and for the government. Just you can't have two masters. Even because the no, just quit, run for office. Don't do this. This just it has bad optics. It just don't look good. She could do it, but it looks bad. Included defendants unlawfully. I love that. That's where it's unlawful. No, it was actually pretty lawful. Now, okay, I see what they're saying. With an enhancement to increase the potential sentence from 18 months to 5 years. That they did screw up on. I remember, we'll cover that in another video. There was an enhancement that they were not supposed to have done because I don't think he has any prior convictions or anything like that, which I think they used a firearm in the commission of a felony, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure um, it was an enhancement, gun enhancement that got him. They were trying to get, instead of just saying, hey, we got 18 months, they went for the longer one and they shouldn't have. So that's fair. That's fair. The enhancement was not enacted until after the incident. That's a problem. That's ex post facto. That's an actual problem. This isn't good, guys. This is bad. It included Special Prosecutor Morrissey, who wanted to teach Baldwin a lesson because she deemed him to be an arrogant prick. I don't think it's an incorrect statement. I'm being honest. I, and it included her extracting an indictment by manipulating the evidence she presented and chose not to present. Guess what? Guess what you can do as a prosecutor, chat? You get to choose that. You don't have to present all the evidence to a grand jury. You definitely aren't going to present evidence that doesn't prove your case or make it more plausible, less or more probable than less probable they did it. Hence the term, I can indict a ham sandwich. Yep, you could. That's all. Again, it's like they're writing it for a Hollywood, I don't know, script writer or something. I mean, this is stupid. Most notably, it included certain defendants, intentional conceal, or it included certain defendants' intentional concealment of exculpatory evidence. That's an issue, and then lying from the witness stand during the trial about their cover-up. Okay, this one is a problem. Why is it doing this? That's not what I want. That's what I want. Okay, no, I don't want that either. That's even dumber. What the hell happened? This here is a problem for them. That's a problem for the state. Okay. First judge, first district. That was last for first judicial district judge. That's a handful of a name. Mary Summer. That was the last straw. Okay. During those 2 days, she had heard testimony from the sheriff's office technician Marissa Popple and Lieutenant whatever, circumstances in which live rounds can come into the defendant's possession and how defendants intentionally chose not to log them into the case file. That's an issue. That's an issue. There's your spoliation. It's a little bit of a problem. At the insistence of Special Prosecutor Morrissey, she probably shouldn't have even been a damn prosecutor. I bet if we look her up next time, she has no freaking background. I'll guarantee it. Meaning she didn't have a damn business being a prosecutor. Judge Summer inspected the ammunition the defendants had failed to disclose and instantly recognized their significance. Really? Oh, what the hell's wrong with my thing? Well, it's saying I need to quit because you've taken too damn long. That's what it's doing. Get off the damn internet, Chris. That same day, Morrissey called herself to the stand. That's very weird. Okay. And gave perjurious statements in an attempt to justify her misconduct. The judge found that the state's willful withholding of this information was intentional and deliberate. That's a big deal. This conduct does not. If this conduct does not rise to the level of bad faith, it certainly comes so near to bad faith. Then that's she. Like I said, I agree with why she dismissed it. It's a big deal. It's a big freaking deal, guys. This is not cool. Like I said, random black dude, prison. I'm just being honest. It's a fact. some regular white guy, poor drug addict, jail. He'd have been in prison. Based on these findings, the judge concluded there's no way for this court to right the wrong. Remember what I said, that she has a handful of things she can do to sanction the state or prosecutors for what they've done and to try to fix it? Well, clearly she didn't think she could. And dismissal, and probably if she'd have just thrown the evidence out, they wouldn't have had any. So it's dead anyway. Dismissal of the criminal case with prejudice, the only warranted remedy. It's a big deal. This does not happen. It just doesn't. This doesn't happen. Holy crap, guys. Oh, man, it just doesn't. Wow. I mean, Brady material is, it's just rare. This just doesn't happen. That's why I was so shocked when I heard it. I was like, oh, this some bitch got off again because somebody let him. No, they fucked the case up. Defendants must now be held accountable. We're going to do it, dun, 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 for the malicious and unlawful pursuit of Baldwin. Who are they writing for? Although no verdict in a civil case can undo the trauma of the state's threat of conviction and incarceration is inflicted. He was never incarcerated. He can go to prison. Alec has filed this action to hold them responsible for their appalling violations of the laws that govern their work. Tomorrow we'll get into jurisdiction and venue. Bum, bum, bum. All right. Thanks, guys. Please hit the like, subscribe, chat. Tell me I'm an asshole. Whatever you want to say. Don't care. See y'all next time. Thanks. I hope this gave y'all some. If you can just leave a comment about whether or not I went in too deep. Would you rather be more cursory? I can do that. And if you could do that for me, I appreciate it. That way I know whether, because I tend to go into depth, I think, for a lot of things. And I'm trying not to make this look like a law school lecture. Okay. All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Roll Tide.